Hi, welcome to Looking Through the Glass. I am Sela and have co-host Giselle. And today we have William Pearson from, he was a 9-year U.S. bobsled team, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's
Yes,
actually just
and
person. It's just regular. I'm a regular old person. Think of it that way.
regular old person.
Yeah, yeah.
But we were getting into conversation, so we just had to hit record. So we're just gonna go ahead and dive right into it. Um, William, you want to take it off and tell us a little bit about what you do and your story?
Well, yeah. Let me tell you what my background is. It's like when I left college, I worked at this place in Stockton, California, called San Joaquin County Mental Health Department. It was the first mental health facility west of the Mississippi River. So all the extreme behaviors came there to get help. And so here I am, 23 years old, working in this place, and these doctors will come in, psychiatrists every morning to evaluate all the patients. They walk in with white coats like you see on TV. They would have got a clipboard, and they walk them through, and they're just doing their thing. And then we have a staff meeting, and they give us all the diagnosis, med changes, treatment, things like that. And so sometimes the doctor will give a diagnosis, and he'll say why. And after the meeting, I'm like, hey doc, I know you said this, but I saw that. And he said, you saw that? I said, yeah. And so he'll go back, he'll talk to that patient, and that's these orders were changing. And he told me I had what you call a tuning fork. I didn't really understand it. I'm 23. I'm a baby. I didn't realize at the time I'm a baby, not knowing what I'm doing. I had no experience. I didn't study this in college. It's just I was different. I see things a little different than most people. I see the patterns. And so go on. Eventually, I owned a treatment facility, opened the first ever independent living transitional housing program. I was probably 28 years old, and his client I had nine bedroom inpatient place where they came and stayed in my facility, and like these kids weren't 10 years my apart in age, and back then I didn't really see the significance in that. But now that I'm 55, I'm looking at it like I did what? Like it's like oh man. So I've always seen things different in the mental health and the brain and the mind, and like I said, didn't come from schooling, but eventually I joined the bobsled team after my second or third year open, and so eventually I went full time with the Olympic team. So my facility was closed, and I saw reopen later. And 9 years later, 7 years later, I was still there racing. So I just never reopened. And when I retired, I was like, I remember having an office phone, home phone, and cell phone always ringing. I had a pager back then too. This was in the '90s, and so it
Yeah.
was it was just like I said, I can't go back to that madness. And so I moved to Hollywood, and I'm just writing, and eventually my symptoms from CTE from bobsledding kicked in, which I didn't know. I thought I was diabetic, but what I realized is I didn't recognize familiar faces anymore. I didn't. Every day I woke up, I didn't know what day it was, and so I had a calendar. So I woke up, I look at the calendar, I figure, okay, today's Monday. Okay, cool. Now I got to figure out what month we in. I always thought it was January or in August. I was living in a loop. And when I won,
Hmm.
my last race was the U.S. National Championships, and we won that. And I was 36 at doing the race. I turned 37 a few months later. And so, but when people asked me how old I was, I automatically said 28. But I'm still in the math, like, wait a minute, I'm not 28. What happened? So there were things going on. There was red flags, and one of the big ones that I remember is I hadn't seen my friends in a long time, so we went to hang out at a bar, shoot some pool and stuff. And my buddy said, "Hey man, that's your ex girlfriend coming in." And I looked at her. I said, "I don't know. She's a pretty girl. I don't know her." And she sprinted over and she jumped in my arms, and I caught her. It was like one of the movie moments, and it was like, but I just realized like I wasn't recognizing people that I knew. And so those were my symptoms. And that was happening. And I was still racing a few more years after those symptoms kicked in. And like I wake up not knowing where I'm at. So I panic in the middle of the night. I jump up, turn the lights on, and look around. And the pictures on the wall always let me know where I'm at. And, like at the Olympic Training Center, there's white cinder bricks painted. I know I'm home. If I see the spooky pictures like in the old movies where the eyes follow you, I know I'm somewhere Eastern
Hmm.
European somewhere. And so I would get my bearings. I'm like, but I rationalize it like most people do. Like you don't connect the
I
dots.
went
Just
I went through a period where when I would wake up, um and this was just maybe a couple years ago, I would wake up and I would have to calculate which way my head was laying in the bed, or and listen for the noises around in my surroundings to know where I was,
Yeah.
because I did not know where I was waking up at.
Yeah.
And I would
You,
have to,
yeah.
and I developed okay, instead of me freaking out from this, I developed okay, wake up, listen. If you don't know where you're at, stop, listen for
Yeah.
pay attention to which way direction your head is, where your directional is, and this and that. And that's how I would start out my day every day for a while. It
Yeah.
was like that for a few years.
Yeah. That's the same story. The details are different, but it's the same thing. It's
Hmm.
identical. And so what I learned to do is I'm calculating the symptoms in people, and it's a very scary thing what I figured out. Matter of fact, this is the first time I've ever said it on camera. I just realized what happened to the why the Sandy Hook killings happened. Like no experts, they said they didn't happen. They don't know why it happened. Some people online they would tell you it never happened. That didn't really, it's not real. But I know what happened. I saw that kid's picture. And as soon as I saw it, I knew. I found a few more of his pictures. I saw it in his eyes. It's like you can see it in people's eyes. You can see that. I can see it in their speech pattern. It's going to be one of the two, or both are going to kind of give the signs away, or their behaviors. And so
Yeah.
it's like it's really predictable now. Like I know what it is. So I put a prediction out last year. Not a prediction. My well, what's the best word for it? I don't want to say diagnose. I've been saying diagnose, but I'm not a doctor. But I knew what happened
Hmm.
to Kanye West. His doctors were wrong. They misdiagnosed him. I told what happened. I said he had an accident. He got sick. His jaw was in the back of his mouth. He had a concussion, and they gave him the same treatment they give poor people. Poor people, rich people, it doesn't matter. We all get the same treatment, which is nothing. They tell you to go sit down somewhere
Absolutely nothing.
and don't go to sleep for the first few hours. That's it. That's all you get. You get nothing more.
I Yeah, or I was put on a lot of different medications. But
Absolutely.
but at the very first thing at the hospital. So first, I refused to go to the hospital because I was not recognizing that I was having issues. Like I remember sitting down and looking at a hamburger, and the kids. I'm surrounded by kids 'cause that happened at
Yeah.
Grand Canyon. And I'm surrounded by kids, and I remember them laughing at the way I was talking because it wasn't making sense, and they're not understanding. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties for those who are watching. Just I'll keep getting booted out and jumping back in. But I remember looking at the hamburger, and I wanted to put a mayonnaise on the hamburger, and I
Yeah.
knew that I needed the hamburger or the bun, the knife, and the mayonnaise, but I didn't know how to do it. Like I
Yeah.
had no idea how to do it. So, but it took me 3 days of having Sela left the building seizures, the pre-mals, where I would just in the middle of a sentence stop talking, my face go blank, and I would sit there for 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden I would come right back, and I thought I
Hmm.
was losing my mind, and
Yeah.
I would get angry. My first response would be anger, super anger, and then it would go into the PTSD fights and this and that. But sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say.
That's another glitch. I call it the glitch in the matrix. Happens to me all the time still.
What? So I want to ask you a question because what I'm hearing, and this is a lot of people say this, when you hit your head, do you think your ability to see patterns got better?
Uh, I don't really have the truth on it because I've always kind of seen the patterns. I've had some really weird experiences in life. If you
Okay.
pull my medical records, it actually says ESP on my medical records. And matter of fact, one time the doctors told me somebody from government would like to talk to me, and I reminded them about HIPAA. And they left me
Hmm.
alone and never bothered me again. So um, I'm a little bit different. I see things a little bit different than most, and but some things did get more intense. And I don't
Hmm.
want to change your uh,
Uh,
what you're doing
you,
here,
you,
but
well, my story, I'm very open about my story. My story takes a very, very, very different and very odd twist
really,
as well. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All the way from because I was in a middle of drug addiction when I first hit my head. and that played in a lot of different areas. And but yeah, no, there's a lot of big stories. So I don't want to get off topic. I apologize.
Yeah. No,
Is
no, it's all related. Believe it or not, what you're talking about, because
but
the,
but
no, I was going to tell you, like with PTSD diagnosis, there's 6,400 veteran suicides every year. It's documented
mhm,
64. That's about the average. But there's an additional 5,000 that overdose, and um,
mhm.
and even if they leave a suicide note, they don't consider it suicide. So there's 11, 12,000 suicides of veterans. And so if you listen to what you're saying, you fit with the people who are on the self medicating side, which is after you have those injuries, like symptoms start to show up, and people try to quiet that noise by drugs. And
That's
the ones who,
exactly what I did.
yeah, and it's just look at our veterans. You line up exactly what our veterans. And so when you told me the year that you had your first time you got hit, I did the calculation, and you fit right into the profile. So what was that first year you said?
The first year was so I actually grew up breaking Mustangs as well, horses.
Oh
So
my
I
god.
had, yeah. So
Oh
I,
my. Okay. Okay. Keep talking.
um, so like, there was
You're easy
times
to
that
diagnose.
there was
You.
there was times that horses reared up on me and whoop, there I went, head on a rock, back of my head on my rock. Like there's also been other abuse in my life. Like there's been like nonstop abuse in my life,
Yeah.
and just a lot of surrounded by a darkness all through growing up, all through
Yeah.
all of it, and then nonstop head injuries along with when I say the abuse happened nearly on the daily basis, I'm not joking. It was nearly on a daily basis that I was getting hit.
Yeah.
Um, but that started, so
Among other things, you know.
yeah, among
Yeah.
other things, yes,
Yeah.
among other, there was a lot. Giselle endured a lot as well.
Yeah.
She endured quite a bit,
And
but
what are your connections to you guys?
that is my daughter.
Oh, so it is your daughter. Okay. So okay. So when you
Yeah.
said daughter earlier, I wasn't sure. And then you start talking to the third person. So wait a minute. It's I know there was something else going on there. Okay, now I get it. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, no. So I have a lifelong of head injuries
Mm-hmm.
that I have experienced. I started doing drugs at methamphetamines at the age of 12 due to abuse and living with somebody that was very, very dark. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
that did not belong on the streets. That did not belong on the streets at all whatsoever. Living with that person for 4 years. So, like, there's a lot to it, a lot to that PTSD that
Yeah.
it went way, way back. But yeah, so the abuse started around 2000, I want to say around 2001. I might be off a year. It might be 2002, might be off a little bit. But like when the abuse started, it started and it was like full blown screaming my name so loud next to my ears that if anybody talked or heard a loud noise, that it would hurt my ear for a month or two
Mm.
afterwards. Like it was severe. It was very, very severe. So, but that happened, yeah, like around 2001, 2002. And then I hit my head in 2000. I hit my head on a metal hand railing, um, hollow. And when you hear the skaters fall and hit and you hear that reverb at the
Yeah.
very end, that's what happened. And I hit the very top of my head. So you knowing about concussions know how severe the diagnosis was. They told me that if I had hit my head any harder, I would have been dead. That it
Well,
was it
in
was
my
enough to take me out.
cases, in my case, and in most cases, we don't. People don't tell you that. They just and they definitely and they might even tell you that, but they don't treat it as a problem.
No, I was not treated. I was sent home and was
Yeah.
told there's nothing we can do.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's where I come in at. And like I didn't create it. Gentleman, you know who Joe Namath
Mm,
is?
no.
He's the first flamboyant football player, quarterback from the six. It was before I was born. He was on the sidelines with fur coats on back in the '60s, and then he became a movie star. And yeah, he put out some videos that he reversed his symptoms, CTE symptoms, by using
Mhm.
hyperbaric oxygen. And for me, like, I was cloudy every day. Every day I woke up, I didn't know
Mhm.
the days. I didn't know what. I always thought it was
Mhm.
January or August, and I wasn't recognizing people that I knew, and it was just a whole storm of stuff. But it pretty much is it's all the same. If you follow the symptoms, the same things happen to the soldiers. It's happening to people with concussions. Um, and if you follow the mass shooting rate, most of the people fit into three categories, and that's they say the veterans are 31% of the mass shootings in America. I think it's a little bit higher, and the rest I've been able to. Is the next group is people with head injuries, TBIs. Then the last group are like I call them my outliers, and that's the mental health people and radicalized people. But however, the mental health people have the same symptoms as us, which is and so they came here like that. And so I really haven't really tried to get these guys the same therapy to see if it's a connection, or I'm not really sure. And I only speak what I really know. But
Yeah.
but the same way that I figured out what happened in the Sandy Hook shooting, that young man applied the same formula that I used. I'm not sure if we talked about this online yet, but I put a post out. Guys, we look up my TikTok channel, One Man with a Chamber. You'll see me wearing a red Team USA shirt. And I always tell people I look disheveled because I'm just walking and talking. There was a guy
That's the
who,
best way to do it, though, right? Because that's when
yeah,
that's when the messages come in, man. Is when you're
yeah.
walking.
My phone was going crazy because there was a young man who went to the NFL office to shoot the office up. And he left a CTE
Yeah.
suicide note. And people say he couldn't have CTE. He only played high school football. Well, eventually they checked his brain when he killed himself, and he was in stage 2. And so, but on that day, I put a video out, and what I told people, and please fact check me, guys. That don't let me get away with anything. Just hold me to the fire. And I told people, I know we're seeing our athletes do these things, but that's not the population I fear. The population I fear are the veterans because they have the same condition, and they're now the best trained killers in the world. And and I put that video out, and then the next day I had court, so I shared it with the judge. And on the courthouse steps, I said the same thing to some people that were there. And then the following week, there was what I said also. I said there's going to be a wave of mass military shootings coming, and we need to get ahead of this thing. They need help. They're American heroes. They didn't come
Mhm.
back here to hurt us. It's not
Yeah,
intentional. They just need
exactly.
help. Yeah, and
Yeah,
so the
exactly.
next so the next week the veteran went to Anaconda, Montana, and he murdered 4 people, and he was hiding in the woods like in that Rambo movie, Rambo 2, I think it is. And then
Hmm.
as they found him, then another active military guy went on a military base, and he shot a whole bunch of people in that place. I don't know how many, but quite a few. And a couple weeks later,
I,
oh
I don't mean to interrupt you, but
no,
I
go
did
ahead.
not get. I wanted your because you said follow you on on your social.
Yeah,
I want to be able to follow you on your social. Can you say that one more time for
yeah,
me?
I'm one man with a chamber.
One man with the chamber.
Yeah, and I say that because Joe Namath, when he went through the treatment or the therapy or whatever you want to call it, he had a team of doctors, and I'm just one guy with a chamber sharing my experience. So I've named my
And I love and I
yeah.
thank you for it. I thank you so much for it because I was literally looking into hyperbolic oxygen chambers when I first hit my head, but then
Hyperbolic might be something different. Make sure you tell them hyperbaric is baric.
hyperbaric.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
maybe hyperbaric. Okay, okay. My
yeah.
bad. Thank you for
No, no,
correcting
no,
me.
no, not bad. I
Oh,
just want to make sure you get the right look at the right
yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
I was looking at looking at it and for the head injuries, but then the seizures started. And once the seizures started, there was no room for me to be able to do anything. Like,
yeah,
because I would research something and then I would forget that I researched it.
yeah,
And then I would do
yeah,
the research again. I was doing the loop.
yeah, yeah. That's the loop. Yes, the loop. That's why I
Yeah,
always
the
thought it
loop.
was January or August, and I've always thought I was 28. I'm stuck in the loop. I'm stuck in
Hmm.
the loop
Yeah,
until I use hyperbaric, and it opened up the loop, and it changed
that's what
some
your booking
things.
was telling me. Yeah, she was telling me that she kept telling me don't give up because of the seizures, and she was like, just don't give up. Just there's still hope.
Well, what I found out, what they believe it is there's influence. Okay, I was an athlete from 11 to 36, 37, and anytime you get any injury, it automatically swells up. We get swelling. And so
Hmm.
they tell you to put ice on it to reduce the swelling, and they tell you to
Yeah.
compress it, like wrap it tight. And so the problem with that is when you get hit in the head, whether it's compression blasts like the military guys, or if you fall down and hit your head or get hit in the head, that swelling, the inflammation is there, but they don't remove it, and so it sits there. And like I was in dementia, and in my 30s, and I didn't know it until I came out of it. And the only way out for me was I got in the chamber, and it opened up those things, and then I can see clearly now. Now I can understand more what this is. And it wasn't perfect. It took time for me to level out, but immediately my clouds went away for 6 days the first time, and I couldn't believe it. And
Wow. Are you
yeah,
serious? The first
yeah,
time?
yeah. I thought the guy was. I thought because I had just bought a lake house to go die in. I was going to die. I was getting lost in my community in Los Angeles, so I bought this lake house back near my family. And yeah, I mean, I bought. So I didn't have money. So when I went to try the chamber the first time, I'm in that thing for 1 hour. And if you see my glass is slightly tinted because I'm sensitive to light, smells, and sounds now because the
Me too.
concussions. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep saying some things that's gonna keep ringing bells over there. It's the same stuff.
I walk
And
around incognito like I'm already famous. I'm like, I'm just
yeah,
practicing for when I'm looking through the glass gets
yeah.
big. That's all, you guys.
It's trust me, it's all the same stuff. It's a matter of fact. So when I'm in this chamber, 1 hour, I get out, I grab my glasses, but everything's so bright and pretty. I can't understand. Like, why is it so pretty? Wow. And I grab my glasses, I put them on. I don't need them, so I'm taking them off. And I said, "Well, that's not weird. That's just I don't understand this." I put them on, so I'm taking them off, putting them on, looking around. The salesman comes over, and I'm thinking he's trying to rip me off. He says, "What's the matter?" I said, "I don't know. I don't think I don't need my glasses anymore." He said, "Oh, you one of those?" I'm like, he just want to sell me this $20,000 machine. So I'm a little standoffish. I'm like, all right, buddy. Well, you know, but the truth is, some people get immediate relief, and some people need 2 treatments a day for 30 days. And I
Hmm.
was the first. And so I got home that night. I fell asleep on the couch about midnight. And no, about 9 o'clock. It was about 9. And I woke up at midnight with a migraine. Woke me up. It was so. I have them all the time, but they was. You never know when they're coming. They just come when they come. But this one woke
Yep,
me up. My
I
head was,
understand.
oh my God, it was radiating, and I was like, oh my God, like. But it was doing other things to my body too at the same time. So something was working. And so over the
Hmm.
next few hours, when I woke up in the morning, migraine was gone and my cloudiness just opened up and was gone. And I was clear for
Wow.
6 days. And as it started to get fuzzy again, I went back, and this time I had 9 days of clarity. And so I knew it wasn't a fluke; it was no accident. And so that's what's behind me right here. This is a hyperbaric chamber. They come in different
Hmm.
shapes, sizes. And I don't sell these things, guys. I don't get any kickback or anything. And anybody I ever tell to go get one, and the company said, "Oh, we'll give you money back." I said, "Don't get that discount to them. I don't, it's not what I'm here for." And so, but this is just my story, and I realize it's happening all around the country. And so many of us, and we all been misdiagnosed. And the thing is, they
Yes.
just never. I don't care if you're rich or poor, you get the same concussion treatment, which is nothing, and
Well,
that's
it's
the
because they
problem.
don't know what they're doing. They do not know what they're doing. We had somebody else came on here with the traumatic brain injury as well, and he was like, after doing so much studying, he was like, I realized that I knew more than my doctors,
Yeah,
and he goes, and that is scary. That right there was, he goes, that was scary to me to not, and here I am, and they don't know what to do with me, and that was exactly what they did with me. They didn't know what to do with me. So I went through things where they were going to try to put me into they were literally going to try to put me into a mental health facility because they
yeah,
because they were saying that I was seeing things and doing things and to me, no, everything was so real. Like
yeah,
people were saying things to me, and I've done this even to Giselle where she says something to me, but what I hear is so not what she said,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And of course it's
And
something that either pisses
that's where
me
the
off.
fights start.
Yep, that's
So
exactly. But like I said, it's normally something that either just really pisses me off or really hurts my feelings. So
yeah,
it's one of those two,
one of
and
those
then that
two.
starts a fight, and then it goes from there, and then I go into a seizure because my brain goes, I can't handle this anymore. My body goes, I can't handle this anymore, and then I
Yeah.
go into my body goes into a fight or flight mode, and then it goes into the seizure.
Wow. Yeah. It's the same stories.
Same,
You have to
yeah.
look. If you're paying attention, it's the same stories over and over.
Same exact
But
story. Like I'm
yeah,
looking in the mirror.
yeah, absolutely. But for me, the sad part for me is one of my teammates called me and he was speaking gibberish, and because I used to own facilities, I knew he needed help, and I said I got to help him. And I didn't do anything but just think about it. And eventually, I got the word back that he went to his family's factory and he hung himself. And so I felt so responsible and guilty. And but the truth is, I learned later he was in stage 4 of CTE, and there was nothing I could do that was going to help him at that point. He was pretty much, you know, and I was
Wow.
not too far behind him. And
Can you
but
explain for our listeners exactly what CTE is and how and the stages of it?
well, the medical community, I think they have it wrong. They believe it's repetitive head injuries. That's part of it. But I've met the people who fell down and hit their head one time who have the same symptoms as us. And so what
Mhm.
happens is anytime you have an injury on your body, soft tissue injury, you get swelling in there. And I'm going to break it down to you the simple way. Like if I'm with the Olympic team and I tore a let's say a hamstring is one of the biggest muscles. I tear it, they immediately pack it with ice and they wrap it really tight, squeeze all the fluid out. They don't want to keep that any inflammation in there. They want to get the inflammation out. And so after that, 72 hours up, then you alternate heat and ice. They have electric stimulation machines they put on there to pulsate it. And then they go to ultrasound. Oh, excuse me. They get ultrasound. And after that, some people do acupuncture. Now they have those suction cup balls. That was before my generation. I retired in '07. That wasn't around. And then when you get done, you have scar tissue in there. You have a knot or some type of mass. And so on that day, they bring out the little white towel, and you're like, oh, God, not today. But that's for us to bite it so we don't break our teeth. And they take the elbow and they just cross grind on that soft tissue, the mass or the scar tissue in the muscle to break it up. Now,
Mhm.
fast forward. Let me take it to the next step. When you have a concussion, it's also soft tissue. So when you hit that head or that brass will hit you, there's inflammation that comes there. But they don't remove it. They just tell you to go sit down and not
Yep.
go to sleep right away. And that's what the problem is. They don't remove the inflammation. And I believe it's sitting there and it festers. And from the formula that I've been using, it's been pretty accurate so far. When you first get that first hit, you got about 10 years before it starts to really manifest. There's things that are going to be happening. And I'm sure it could happen sooner in some people. But it seems to be 10 year around a 10-year period. It's things just start to happen as your life gets really, really strange. And then after that, you got another 4 to 6 years before it's just like, I don't want to live anymore. I'm tired of this. I'm going to commit suicide, or you resort to violence, or you resort to things that like for a case in the Sandy Hook shooting guy. That kid who did the shooting had the same thing happen to him. His mother exposed him to guns. When I applied the formula to him, I thought I was wrong because who would put a shotgun in a 4-year-old's hand? But his mother was an avid shooter, and so that was their pastime together, shooting guns. But also, that kid was born with the symptoms that me and you have now as we got sick. So he didn't have any room for error. He started that way. So any type of blows to the head was too much for him. So his was shooting shotguns. Number one, I believe, was part of it. And because of his sensitivity issues where you couldn't touch his skin, he would get upset. He would bang his head. So he was concussing himself his whole life. So if you look at the pictures of him as he got older, you can see exactly when his eyes changed and when the symptoms kicked in. So that's the same way I diagnosed Kanye. He was diagnosed with bipolar at 40. That was a red flag for me. Nobody gets diagnosed at 40. You get diagnosed at 19, 20. You might get 25 out of it, but you're not going to make it to 40.
They
And then
diagnosed me with bipolar
Yep.
at like the age of 40.
that's good. That's actually good news for you because that means they're wrong. Yeah, that means
Yeah,
they're
I
probably
know
wrong.
they are.
Yeah,
I knew they were.
yeah. Yeah, and not only with that was when Kanye West talked about in the public, he's always talked about the meds making him sick, not feeling good. And I went through that
Hmm.
stage where I finally broke down into, okay, doc, I met one of the NFL doctors. I trusted him. Help me like you help the NFL guys. He gave me a Zoloft, and I had a deal already with myself. I will not commit suicide because I won't leave that trauma with my family. I said, but I tell God, you can come get me any day, hopefully today, because then it will be just my time. It won't be so hard on my family. And so,
Yeah.
but when I took that Zoloft, that deal was almost off the table. And I stopped taking it. But the sad part is, I told myself what we told all our clients. Just take it for a while, let it build up in your system. It's going to take time, and you're going to feel better. But it was wrong. My deal was I was almost ready to end it, and I was looking
I
at
was on
windows
that for
like I was
years.
prepared. Every time I saw a window, I wanted to jump through that window, jump off the balcony. It was just things like that were
I was
coming.
on,
Yeah, and I stopped
yeah, I
taking
was
those
on that
pills.
for years. I took myself off of it too. One of the hardest things to get off of, like every joint in my body ached
Wow,
so
really?
bad. Yes, very much so. Not to mention the spirals, but I was able to get myself off of it. It took me, I did all of their medications. I took myself off of them because I was so, like you said, I didn't like the way that the Risperdal, the,
Yeah,
the, the other medications that they had me on like 11 to 15 different medications at one
yeah,
time,
yeah,
just one covering up another, making me go more psycho, making me go more psycho, making me go more
yeah.
psycho, where my brain is just trying to figure it out itself,
The average
you
is
know?
12. The average is 12 pills for our condition. That's so
Wow,
you know. The average is 12.
that's
So
ridiculous.
yeah,
So I am on none
yeah,
anymore. I've gotten myself off of even seizure medication. Well, no, I don't take any medications anymore.
yeah.
Zero. But it
Good.
took 10 years of me fighting and constantly doing work and constantly pushing myself to the next level, doing whatever I needed to do to
Yeah.
get there to not be able to keep from going there. But
I want to.
yeah,
I want to make sure we put a disclaimer here, right? I want to on people who are listening. Like, I'm not. We're not here to tell you not to take your meds, but we're telling you to do
no,
your homework, do your due
we're just speaking
diligence,
our own experiences.
experiences. Yeah, absolutely. Because
Exactly.
and
Exactly. We are
because
only speaking what we went through ourselves.
yeah, and so as I connected the dots, what I realized is those meds are made for healthy brains. If your brain is compromised because of concussion, it's not going to work. It's just because that's the problem. It's not. It's,
But
those things are for
suicide,
healthy
I
brains.
without even thinking, there was no thought process that I would
Yeah,
try suicide. And then when I would talk about it, and when I was told that's not what you experienced. Well, what do you mean you're telling me
yeah,
that that's not what I
exactly.
experienced? That's what I
Yeah,
fucking experienced, dude.
yeah,
Like, and you're going to tell me if you're in the room with me for 15 minutes out of my entire life, and you're going to sit there and tell me that I'm bipolar and that I'm suicidal, which I was depressed, but I was
yeah,
depressed because my life was ripped from me at the time. Like,
yeah,
you're not looking at everything else that I'm going through. You're just looking at what you see in front of you, and you are got it wrong. They had it so wrong.
yeah, yeah. They got it wrong. Yeah, and that's what makes this thing so dangerous for us to talk about it because um, they want to keep selling those 12 pills to everybody every month, keep building insurance. It's a cycle. The people who
Yes,
speak
this.
out against hyperbaric treatment, there was a documentary I watched just about a couple weeks ago. They followed it to the top of the food chain. There was a
Hmm.
big pharma at the top of that food chain who the people are discrediting this thing because like people with my condition take 12 pills, I take none. I just, when I got to my lowest and like I felt like a hypocrite because anybody who knows me from the Olympic team know I wouldn't smoke, I wouldn't do any type of drugs. If anybody did anything around me, I always told them if there's going to be a snitch around here, it's you don't have to look for him. It's going to be me. So if you do things around me, especially outside the country, it's an international incident, immediately I'm the one that snitched. So if you don't want to get caught, don't do it around me. And I've always said that I thought people who smoke weed was stupid. But when that doctor gave me that Zoloft and I was about to end it all, and I tried weed for the first time, and it sedated me enough and kept me conscious enough until I figured it out. And then once I put the weed down after I didn't need it anymore, now I'm clear as a bell. I still have some glitches. I still process slower. I
Thank
was,
you for that.
yeah,
Thank you
and
for that. Thank you for that because I'm a huge advocate on it helped me and it's saved me, especially when dealing with the seizures and stuff.
yeah,
Because I'm part of the recovery community, because I no longer do methamphetamines, it helped me. It helped stop those seizures, like 90 seizures a week I was having every time I tried quit methamphetamines and every time I tried getting off of any of the other chemicals that they were putting in me. I
Yeah.
would have more and more seizures, and weed, yeah, it helped me. It helped me so much, and it still helps. I'm not at the point where I can't, but I will be. There will be a day. I know that I
Are you still
can't. There
having
will be a
seizures?
day. I still have seizures,
Okay.
not as much, but like right now I'm in the shivers. Like right now I'm in the pre shivers. But but yeah, no, I still have seizures.
Yeah.
They had me medicated for over 8 years when it was not my brain waves. It was the mixture between the head trauma, the brain
Well,
injury itself, and the
Mhm.
PTSD and the traumas that I have that my
well, let's not
body
even
has
forget to
stored.
mention that they were mixing pills
Yeah.
and doing a combination of pills that would cause you to go into the suicidal tendencies or
Yeah,
creating the seizures. And then they would go, well, it's not the pills problem. And then, yeah, we had so many complicated issues with it.
Wow.
and all they did
And
was just tell me I
Hmm.
was crazy and I was lying.
matter of fact, the actually, you know what, the other than hyperbaric oxygen is one thing, but you know what the other thing that saves people is only thing that saves people in this condition. It's actually you two sitting right here. It's your loved ones because they
Hmm.
can see what you
Yeah.
don't see, and that's the only way I made it out, and that's the only way anybody makes out. It's the loved ones. So if you look at I looked at the last 2 years of NFL suicides. All those guys were married men who are now living separate from their wife, except for one. One guy still lived in the house, but he lived in the back bedroom, and the family revolved around him. And so it's the loved ones who are going to save you. And I'm so glad that you have Giselle there for you, because she's your answer. And
Yes.
another, yeah. And then the other thing is when these symptoms kick in, it's like this. People always ask me, well, what are we looking for? Well, it's only the loved ones can tell you. It's when their behavior changes. They're going to see it. When they're not, you see it every
They
time there's
can
a,
hear it in my voice.
you
They
can hear it in
can
their
We
voice.
literally
can just
detect it
feel the
right
energy
in my
shift in her.
voice.
We can just
Absolutely.
immediately feel it, and we're like, "Mom, are you okay? What's going on?" Or we'll tell her, "Okay, you need to
Yes.
sit there."
Yeah.
We'll tell her, "Mom, you need to go puff."
Absolutely.
You need to, because it helps
Yeah.
her, and you can see an
Yeah.
immediate difference.
Absolutely. It's the loved ones. And I tell people, look at every time you see a mass murder or any murder or anybody who do something stupid in the community, the family said, or the neighbors, oh, they were such a nice person, but all of a sudden they weren't acting like themselves. That is the sign.
Mhm.
And that's when you know this is what this is. That's the diagnosis right there. The family can diagnose it because the doctors
Exactly.
can't do it because they're not with you every day. They don't know you like that. And especially
No, they
back in
don't
the
know you like that, but they
And
yeah,
they
try to
don't like to
pretend like
listen
they
to
do.
family.
yeah, that's yeah, yeah, that's the answer. It's the loved ones. They weren't acting like themselves. And when that happens, you have to ask yourself why. But the thing of it is the next step is it's not what are their behaviors today. You have to ask yourself, where were they 5 to 10 years ago? Because that's how this thing works. There's a 10-year window in here when things get weird. And if you pay attention to that window, you can figure it out. And it's so simple now. Like it's just it's a formula I designed, and it's like clockwork. You cannot really mess it up. I'm sure there are going to be some outliers, but so far it's
Mhm.
I made the matter of fact I put out another thing. I put out the Kanye West one. I told the military online. I thought they were going to kill me for this. I said the diagnosis is wrong, and they actually asked me to join them. So I've been helping these guys. We're going state to state to change
Good.
the. Yeah, I think they have seven. They have 7 states so far that's approving hyperbaric oxygen for our soldiers. But what I'm doing is different. Is I'm opening it up for to the American public for free. Because if you came to my facility and say, I know what this is, I need the help. I'm gonna tell you, if I charge you what it's supposed to charge you, it's gonna be a minimum of twelve thousand
Wow.
dollars a day, minimum, as if you
Yeah,
self
and
treat.
there's no way I can
And
afford that.
no, and nor could I, because the people who let me use the chamber the first time was free. The second time it was free. When I know I needed that if I was a diabetic, that chamber was my insulin, and now I need
Hmm.
$20,000 to get it. No company would reduce their prices or help me. It was no funding, and I was like, and so I told my dad, I said, I'm gonna buy it for you. I said, no, I'm a grown man, Dad. You just retired, save your money. I'll shift some money around. I'll get it. Before I can shift that money around, I was already back in a dark place. I forgot I was supposed to shift that money, and I was dying
Yeah,
again.
salute.
And so that's what I'm doing now for the people is I'm opening this up to the public for free. And so, like I've turned down all private money, no investors. They're going to return the money. I'm not returning your money. If you donate, it's for the American people, and we open it for free to treat. I'm the only free wellness post concussion center coming, and yeah, and we're pretty close to opening. We're not too far. I got to raise a little bit more funds, but once everything in place, pay for my chambers in the building. Like all I gotta do is turn the machines on, and it's that simple. I don't need it. I can get a
which
job
we
at McDonald's and pay my electric bill and treat the American people for free. And
which,
that's what I'm
which
doing.
we will be sharing the GoFundMe information
Yes.
and stuff like that, all of
Yeah,
that stuff. Make sure that you give us all of the links
yeah,
because I want to help
Yes.
is we want to help as much as we can in this because this is definitely 100% as a person who goes through it and has been through it and is still going through it. It
hmm,
is needed. It is needed. It is if especially when there's really no other way because there's people feeling so lost, like
yeah,
so lost, and this is saving lives.
yes, yeah. And we're a 501c3, so we will be able to give donations. And if you need the write off, we got the write off for you, and we are official. And we're
Oh, that's
coming. And
amazing.
yeah, and we're gonna. Yeah, it's coming, man. I got goosebumps. I'm so excited about this because I
I
know.
do I do too. I
Yeah,
do. I just got the chill. I was just like, oh, that's
yeah,
amazing. That I thank you for being able to be resilient enough to get through, and just paying attention and having that brain that you do have of being able to see patterns. And just so thankful for that.
yeah. Me too. I hated it most of my life, man. I thought I was the Antichrist because I was seeing things I didn't want to see, and I just couldn't believe it. And
Yeah.
now that I see what I really see, it's this is the scary part of it. Everybody who's ever had a head injury, see, everybody's different. Like Giselle can hit her
Hmm.
head once and be fine. You can hit your head once and it can set your clock starting. And so you don't know who it is. So once you hit your head, it's a ticking time bomb. You got 10 years to figure it out
And
to
and
see when those
everybody
symptoms
hits
kick
their
in.
head.
Oh yeah.
Everybody hits their head. Everybody's hit a car, just like
Everybody
Kanye.
hits their head.
Yeah. Now remember, Kanye West is a billionaire. And how does a little black kid from St. Louis diagnose him? From when the doctors couldn't. Like, there's a pattern here. And you have to follow the symptoms. And that's what it is. And it happens to everybody.
Yeah.
So anybody with head injury could eventually wind up doing something rather violent, which is the scary part. And either gonna
That
kill
they're
themselves
and
or
they're not
someone
even in
else.
control of it.
No, and they have no idea of what they're doing. They like you don't know that like your acting behaviors is bad. Like even though
I
my
rem-
yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't cut you off.
yeah, I remember walking. As a matter of fact, Giselle's husband when they met when I first hit my head, and they were still just friends at that point in time. He saved my life because I just got up, opened up the front door, didn't have put any shoes on, nothing, and just started walking. And I was going to walk out into the street, wait for the biggest vehicle, and I didn't even like I knew that I was doing this, but
Yeah,
I didn't understand or control any of this. It was the
yeah,
weirdest place to be. The weirdest place to be in the back seat of your own body.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know? And if it wasn't for him, I was like in this trance and I'm just walking along. And if it wasn't for him seeing that and running after me, noticing that odd behavior of she didn't say anything, I'd come in and get me. And it took his touch to get me to go, what? And it was just that kind of weird things that happened. And that was literally within months of
Mhm.
me first hitting my head.
wow, wow. Yeah, it's really like it's the same story. It's over and over. You can move it around, but it all looks the same. And
Yeah.
it's yeah,
It really, really does. When I was reading more on the CTE and stuff, and I have post concussion syndrome, of course, because, that's part of the diagnosis is there. Um, but I was looking at it and I was looking at my husband and I was like, I am like almost a picture, like if you were to just want a poster child right there, like
yeah,
I'm right there. I was like,
yeah,
wow, that's kind of scary. So Yeah, we definitely, I'm definitely interested in, checking out what you have, what, what you're doing and promoting it and
Yes.
for myself included, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we appreciate it. Like, I had a really important call last night, and I can't go too much in it, but it looks like the wheels are lining up to get us moving. And like I like this, what I see now, like it's like one day I woke up and something told me to go look at this kid who did the mass shooting, right? And once I figured out, I looked at it, and like I said, I thought I was wrong because of the numbers. Nobody would put a shotgun in the kid's hand at 4, and they did when I figured it out. And but when I realized what I'm looking at, it scared the hell out of me, and I cried. First time I cried in a long time for that reason, because it's already here. It's like this is the
Mm-hmm.
plague of our generation, and it's not being addressed, and it's why the violent rate is here so bad. And I can't stop it, but
Mhm.
I can slow it down. Well, maybe for the future we can stop it, but I can't even stop it now. I can only slow it down, and that's the scary part because it could be anybody. It could be your neighbor. It could be the. It's like somebody can just you can just touch the next person. It's just depends on how your brain is wired, and you don't know
I
who's
really
it's going
want
to affect this way.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's that?
Sorry, I moved.
I was gonna say,
Go ahead, stuff.
I just want to touch base on it. You sat there and you did say that these like prescriptions, they're meant for the healthy brain, and because they do help people, they do help a lot of people. But I'm starting to see more of
Yeah,
a pattern of them, like with me, my mom's personal experience, all these personal experiences, is they're just wanting to hand off the pharmaceutical medication instead of diving deeper. It's just a
yeah,
here's this and go on about your day, and that can cause a lot of the problems too with the mental illnesses and not looking at the background of
yeah,
things.
yeah. Well, actually, what the point I was making, I probably didn't finish that point, but um, the thing is when they do all the icing and the compressions for the muscles and to get the inflammation out, they didn't do it here. So it looks like a mental health issue, but it's not. It's a physical injury
Mhm.
that didn't get resolved. That's why I was able to get in
Yes.
that chamber and resolve it within an hour. And so there's so many more. I'm not the only one. Somebody, Joe Namath introduced to me, and now that there's a community, I'm looking around. The military's doing it now for the veterans, and so it's among us. It's here, and it's I didn't create this. I just found it. Joe Namath saved my life. I give him all the credit. Anybody who calls me, these grown men are calling me, thanking me for saving their life. I say, man, you can't thank me. That goes to Joe Namath. He gets the credit because he got me up off that floor. And yeah,
Hmm.
matter of fact, when my teammate called me and I took all that guilt, the truth was I couldn't help him because I needed help. I was living on. I took the bed out of my bedroom and put it. I took the mattress threw it in my living room next to the kitchen and the bathroom, and I was struggling. And I was no different than the story you telling or any. It's all the same stories. It just looks different. And Joe Namath
Yeah.
showed up at the right time for me, and it took a while. It cleared my clouds, but it took a while for me to. I've been in the chamber maybe 600 hours so at this point, and when I get a little, and I think like I also have more concussions than most. I took the average number of bobsled rides. Like I know now, every time I went down there, there's extreme G forces. The same thing that's killing our fighter pilots was they were doing 6 Gs, we're doing 84 Gs. That's why when I took them on a bobsled ride one time, they were wiped out. And I didn't understand that back then because they're the best of the world.
Yeah.
You know, these are veterans, like these are pilots. Like, how does a bobsled ride rattle you? I did 7 rides that day. They did one. Like, you mean I'm better than the fighter pilots? No, it's the G forces. The spikes are too high and people are dying because of that. And the pressure on the pressure brain can come from different places. It's the shotgun blast, military, poof, not just shotguns, but the
Yeah.
big guns. But yeah, and it's waves. Our brains can't take the waves, and I don't know
Yes.
if it's tied to the. Some people say these waves are hitting us from the 5G, and they want to do a 6G tower. I don't know if it's even connected, but that's scary to me. I
Uh,
don't know. I don't know if it's the
I
same.
can't feel those though. EMFs and stuff like that. I actually have my mom got me, where is it? I have this little, oh, it's right here. Because I can hear the frequencies of my computers and the Wi-Fi's and stuff like that. I can feel it. It gives me that brain fog really hardcore. And
Yeah.
my mom found this for me in Arizona, but it's an EMF blocker, and it's got a whole bunch of different crystals and metals and stuff like that all mixed in there.
Yeah.
And after, like, if I start to, like, when I'm on the computer for too long and I'll start to get that brain, I'll pick it up and I'll sit there and twirl it. I'll just hold on to it, and I got to feel this certain pressure point, and then I'll just twirl it. Within about 2 minutes, the fog starts to clear away.
Huh.
Within, and it's really, really crazy how those brain injuries causes so much sensitivity to certain things.
Well, I have a friend. I have an ex girlfriend. She's an A-list actress. I don't want to put her name out here, but she was
Yeah.
sensitive to that stuff too. And when she told me, she's really like, no matter where we go, she can feel that stuff. She when it's around.
Mhm.
And I remember one time we were watching a play, and we were sitting on the stage, and the people, because they gave her a special seat because she's a celebrity kind of lady. But so we sat
Yeah.
on the stage, the rest of the audience in it, and there's another group of people sitting behind us. And she started, like, when it gets bothering, she starts like wiggling a little bit, and I know what that means. And I said, "What's wrong?" And she told me somebody's got their phone on near me. And I looked behind, and it was the guy behind her. He was texting, and she said, "Hey, do you mind turning it off? It's just really kind of interfering with me." And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." So she turns back around. We're watching the play. He pretends to turn it off, right? And she starts wiggling again. And I look back. He's got that phone still out, and I was like, she's real. This is real. And that was in
Hmm.
2008, 9. And so what you're saying is 100%. That's real business. I've seen it live. And matter of fact, she had somebody do some kind of, I forgot what a healer did something for her, and now that she doesn't deal with it anymore. And I had to ask her what they
Yes.
did. Maybe it could help you. But yeah, that
Yeah.
you're not crazy. That's what I can tell you. It's real. That's a real thing.
But you don't know, and when you're going through it though, because so many people are just not,
In
they're
tune.
feeling it. They're
No.
feeling it, just they're not paying attention to it, or but yeah, the in tuned too. The
Yeah.
brain injury definitely puts different things in perspective, the way it has to rewire and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it definitely, there's things, lights, anything electrical. Lights are really, really hard on me. Like, very
Yeah.
headlights too. I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, even on bad days, sunlight at times can get to me, even, you know, on my real, real bad days. But sunlight is one of the most important things that you need as well.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
No,
one.
no. You got to figure it out. You're good. You're good. You just got to get to that last
Of-
part and get some of that inflammation out of there. And yeah, you're figuring it out. Like, but most people don't, and that's the sad part.
I'm
And
lucky. I'm lucky that I've been tuned to certain other things that other people can't get in tune to.
that's
And
not
that
luck.
has to do with that. It's not. You're right.
No,
That
it's
is
not
not
luck.
luck. It is.
Yeah.
It's being qualifies the called.
Well, it's probably the reason why you're sitting behind that computer right now, like this. What I've learned is no. I used to think everything I was getting lucky. It was coincidence, luck, and no, that's not that. It's things are happening as they're supposed to,
Yes.
and that's just what it really is. And
Yes, yes. In
yeah,
all
and you're
honesty, yes.
yeah, and you're beating this thing. You're not, like I said, I was on the ground praying for death every day. That was my routine. I couldn't help my friends because I was struggling too bad. Like I couldn't help him because I was sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
the one thing finally hit me, when I realized he didn't come to, I wasn't supposed to save his life. He came to save my life. That's when it really hit me. I was like, oh my god, like wow, and
When you were
things happen.
telling that, when you were saying the story, I wanted to say that, but I held back.
Yeah,
I wanted to say that happened for a reason, and that was to save you.
yeah,
And it was, yeah. I wanted to say that. Ooh, goosebumps. I wanted to say it, but I held
And now
back on saying it because I
yeah,
was like,
and now
that's
you're
kind
out
of a
here
very
saving
sensitive thing.
even more people.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, this is the plague of our lifetime. It really is, and it's got to
Yeah.
be. It has to be handled, and it's only one way to do it. Either you jump down in that
The way
ocean,
the
go far down.
masses are handling it is not the correct way.
They don't know. They don't. They're
Yeah.
being. they're all being taught the same stuff. And matter of fact, one
By the
person
same
told me,
people.
yeah, and somebody told me that their doctor finally admitted that they're they only had like one semester of something that was related to this, so they really didn't have the experience to help you because they don't have the experience. They weren't taught this thing, and
Nope.
so it's going to be up to us to really keep sharing our stories and like I said, now instead of me, I usually help people find this treatment in therapy. If I say treatment, our government be mad at me. Therapy, they're in your communities. If you type in HBOT near me, you'll find them. They'll show up. So I was helping people find them in their community. Sometimes they'll treat them for free. Sometimes they won't. But I at least can show you where you can find those places at. But eventually, once our place is open, then people can just come, and I don't have to shuffle. Like you can
Yeah.
come to us. You need 30 days. We got a place for you to stay, and we got the therapy that you need, and even got a nice lake house up there
That's,
where if you like to fish, you do a little bit of
I
fishing,
love fish.
laying out.
I
Yeah, it's
love
just
fish.
yeah.
Fishing was actually picking up fishing was one of the ways that I used to keep me from using when I
Oh
was
wow.
still in active addiction. I was literally guided in how to stop my own addiction. I was literally guided in how to do the healing and getting off the medications, and I was literally guided through it all. And very, 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 very blessed and very, very thankful for the guidance that I have received from above.
Did you do a
And
lot of fishing?
yeah, yeah, I got really into it. I have to have a fishing license, and typically I have fishing gear and a pole in my trunk of
Yeah.
my car,
Yeah.
wherever I'm at.
Well, I'm gonna
Because
say
it is
this. I'm gonna tell you this. Like every time I got my best epiphanies, I was near the water, and so it's something about
water,
the water. Yeah, I don't know what it really is. I just have no idea. God,
water,
yeah,
the
when,
frequencies and the vibrations that it gives off and all of that. Yep. Agreed.
yeah, yeah,
You're actually, somebody else earlier said the same thing, but be close to bodies of water. If not in it, close to it.
yeah. My friend, when I started getting before I knew what this was, some tip tell me, get to the water, get to the water, get to the water. I thought it was supposed to be California, but now if you look at my house, I live on a lake, and it's just it.
Mhm.
And something was guiding me. It was telling me exactly what to do, and I just didn't know why. And now I kind of know
Same
why. But
thing.
something, yeah, stay near the water, and it
Yeah.
really helps you when you're
Same,
struggling.
same
Find that
story.
water.
We're saying the same story that the guidance and stuff like that. And I honestly, truly believe that, I always said the head injury, the seizures, all of that, it's for a reason that I
Yeah,
wouldn't have it for no reason. I'm not going through it for nothing. There is a reason for me to be going through it. And and in that I have to make the reason, then I will make the reason no matter
yeah,
what. It is not happening to me, but it is happening for me.
absolutely, absolutely. Great attitude.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
the way you got to look at it. But don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I had a fight to get here. Like it took a lot of fighting. It took a lot of my family being there for me, my
yeah,
family understanding a lot of things that the doctors weren't understanding, and my family advocating for me at home and even advocating against myself, going,
yeah.
hey, no, you're willing to argue with me because I am one stubborn individual.
Oh, I can tell. I see it in your eyes.
Yeah, I am one stubborn individual. You can't tell me anything,
Well,
but I had to learn to trust. I had to learn to break free from that, not trusting anybody. I had to learn to do all of that. And I was guided and I was helped and with the family and everything. And William, this was amazing. I was so looking forward to this with you this entire
mhm.
time.
Well, I'm gonna help you replace that word. It's not stubborn. It's called protection. That's what that really is. Yeah,
I like how you
Protection.
put
protecting
that.
yourself. Yeah, but
Yeah.
now, yeah, but now you have her, so you don't have to protect so much. You have to, you know, you already figured
Yeah.
it out. Never mind. I don't need to give you any advice. You already know what to do. You guys got this. Yeah,
You're
yeah,
amazing. You're amazing.
yeah,
And I'm thankful, and I know that a lot of other people are very thankful to you and to those who have helped you along on your journey through this.
yeah.
And I'm rooting for you for all of
Yes.
this big time. big time. And I would love to have you on again if you feel like it, or, to, especially, when things are launching,
Yes.
would love, 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 love to have you on again once the things are picking up and launching so we can get that out there and get
Yeah.
this and spread that news too.
By the way, I'm probably shutting down all podcasting, but I'll make sure that we put you in a circle that can always reach me. When we get offline, I'll give you my cell so you can find me directly.
Oh yeah, that would be
Yeah.
fantastic. That
Well,
would be
Yeah.
fantastic. Yes. Well,
I want to say I appreciate you coming on and
go ahead, Lisa.
taking the time out of your day to share and bring awareness to the CTE and what in the actual healing that there is healing behind it and that it can be diagnosed early. And you're amazing. It's like she said, you're awesome and you're amazing.
I appreciate it. But what I really believe is that CTE won't exist if you remove that inflammation. So they only find
Yes,
CTE after it sits there for who knows how long. It's got to be there probably
it's
15,
just
20
got to
years
fester. It's a
before.
festering
Thank you.
thing.
That's why they say it's progressive. It's festering in there.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
believe if we start removing it,
It's almost like a cancer.
yes, yeah, absolutely. And I think that's
Yeah.
one,
When you talk about it, that's how I see it. Is just like a festering and like a boil or something or an infection
yeah,
festering and then just spreading.
yeah. A few years ago, I could barely talk. I lost words. I could, I
Hmm.
could form sentences if I really, it was hard though. I was working hard to form sentences. Before I had to call
Yeah.
myself a smooth talker. Like if there was a riot at any facilities, I'm the guy that went in to put the riots out. I was,
Hmm.
but now, I was the crisis intervention instructor for the state of Utah. And I got to the
Wow.
point where I could not really process. I still process a little slow. Like there's some things I probably should tell you right now. It's gonna hit me about 15, 20 minutes from now. Like, oh, I forgot to tell them. Like, oh yeah. So I process slow, and I miss a lot of things
That's okay.
still.
You'll have
Yes,
our
you'll have
information.
Yeah,
our
Tell us.
information for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, but yeah, you are one person that I do not want to lose contact with for sure.
Now,
Because
my last
I
thing for
believe,
you, self care. What are you doing?
what am I doing? I'm doing right now I'm in cognitive behavioral health therapy to try to um, understand my body and the triggers and stuff like that.
Uh huh.
I am,
That's work. That don't
uh,
count.
huh?
That's work. That's work
That's
in
where,
therapy. That don't count.
okay.
Self care. That's
She
just self
called you
care.
forth.
That don't
Yeah.
count.
For self-care,
She's trying to learn how to take care of herself.
actually,
She's still
yeah, I'm
learning.
trying to, yeah,
You
I'm
not allowed
still,
to. You can't answer for it. You're not allowed to answer for it. I'm putting her in the corner right now. Don't let her move the bottom right now. What is your self care you doing for yourself? You lived a hard
you
life.
mean
You had a hard.
like getting up and taking a shower type self-care, or like
Mm,
for my
no,
mental health?
that's that's a good part of self care, but that's not self care. Look, let me tell you this
Okay,
way. You lived a hard life, and I'm gonna give you It's your homework assignment. I'm gonna give you my number, and you text me and you tell me when you get it done. It's hard to do. I promise you. I had to do it. No one taught me to do it. I did it for myself, and I won't bore you with the story, but I need you to find a mirror, and you look in that mirror, and you tell yourself that you're safe now. I want you to tell yourself that, and I promise you, it's so hard to do. You're used gonna be like, you ain't gonna be able to get the words out, but when you finally say it, you're gonna realize it, and your life is gonna change. And so when you do that, you have to find self care, which means you had a lot of abuse on your life, and now you have to find happiness. You got things that you could do. I don't care if it's going to the movies. I don't know if you go to a
I was
bar and
gonna say
put on your.
today, my son is coming to pick me up. And
Mm-hmm.
then we're gonna go over to Giselle's, and I'm gonna go spend time with my family, and I'm gonna go endure as much karaoke outside as I can. That's what I'm doing for my self
Karaoke
care.
can be a self care, but find some
Yeah,
self.
that's what I'm being. What I was looking through the glass. One, if number one is part of my self care, because it's in me watching, helping others. I'm healing myself too.
That
Talking about things.
that's cheating. That's cheating. No, 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 no.
She does
Damn
like
it.
to
That's
look at
cheating.
her
No.
grandchild, though.
Something that you can do. Yeah, it's still cheating. He's adorable. That doesn't count. Something that you get to do for yourself, only for you can only get the benefit of it. Not helping anyone. That doesn't count. That is not self care.
Huh.
You have to find that.
I don't do anything for myself on that in that manner then.
I know you don't. That's why we're doing this right now.
Hmm. Mm.
So when you look in that mirror and you say that, you will find your self care, and then you let me know what it is. I don't. You have to tell me right now, but it's something
Okay.
that you can do for yourself that nobody can take from you. My self care, I
Okay.
love to fish. I go back to my lake house and just put my feet up. That's my self care. Like you got to
I
find
do
that.
love to fish. I do
Yeah.
love to fish.
If it's that fishing license, maybe that's the fishing license. I love.
I always keep one. I won't let
Yeah.
it expires. I'm like, no, I can't go without fishing license. I don't, even if I'm not using it right now, I don't care. I don't care if I only use it for, I go fishing once. I want to have that fishing license
Yeah.
when I want it. As simple as that.
Find something that you can do for yourself that only is for you. It's not for your daughter, not for your anybody else. It's for you. And
That
when
is
you
a hard
find
That
one.
is
that,
a hard,
it is. It's because of the trauma you have on you. You have to let the trauma go. And you will let the trauma
yeah,
go when you can look in that mirror and say, I'm safe. And until you say
yeah.
that, you're gonna be stuck for a minute. But you gotta get unstuck. It's easy. Just go look in that mirror. It's hard as hell to do, but when you actually be able to get the words out, it's gonna change some life for you. And then find your self care and enjoy life. Let that trauma go and move on. That's where you
Thank
are.
you.
Yeah.
That is where I'm at. I'm so ready to face all of it. And that's where I've been
You
for
already
the
did
past couple
that.
of years.
You did it already.
Yeah.
Stop it. You know more you just face. You got nothing left to face. You already faced it. Look in that
Uh-huh.
mirror. You gotta look in that mirror. And
Yeah, and say I'm
yeah,
safe. Tell
yes.
myself I'm safe.
Trust me, it's not easy. You can't. It's hard to get the words out when you look at yourself and say it. It's just I don't know why. Man, it took me days to be able to get the words out, and it was my
Yeah.
own little. Nobody told me to do it. Someone just told me to do it. It was came from internal. I couldn't get them words out, and once I did,
That
man,
guidance, man.
I
That
man, I
guidance.
yeah, it is. It really is. But I let so much go, and my life changed,
Thank you.
and it'll be the same for you. But you got to
Thank
find
you
that
for that.
fun thing. No, don't thank me, man. It come from me. You thank me by passing it on. We pay it forward.
And we sure will.
That's what we do,
Yeah,
and that's what I'm doing with my stuff. Yeah, you pay it forward. Yeah,
absolutely we will. We will.
yeah.
And I just ah, I knew that this one was gonna be special. We're
Yeah. We just talking, man. No worries. It's just like I didn't do anything special. We're just talking. It's just what it is.
just talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Giselle, is there anything you want to add? Okay. All right. Yeah,
Okay.
but if you
Before you go to your listeners, do you have a Sharpie?
yeah,
You have a Sharpie?
I I have a pen.
No, Sharpie. It has to be a Sharpie or a marker, lipstick. You might have to ruin the pair of
I
lipstick
have,
for yourself.
I have a Sharpie right here.
Okay. I need you to go to your bathroom mirror and write, I have something to say to you. It's got to stay there until you say it. You don't get to remove it. Because with our condition, we forget what we're supposed to do. And if you don't write it down, you're going to miss it. And it's a very important step for you. So write it on that mirror for yourself that I have something to tell myself. And when you're ready, not on my time, on your time, when you're ready to say, I'm safe, you just look in that mirror and say, I'm safe and see what happens. I'm waiting.
Okay.
I'll be waiting on the phone call. Yeah, I'll be waiting.
Okay.
Phone call, text,
I
whatever you want to send me, you let me know when you've done it. It might be
okay.
6 months. It might be 6 weeks. It might be 6 hours. It could be 6 days. Whenever it might be 6 minutes. I don't know. But watch how things change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Uh, so for our listeners, all of our listeners out there, be on the lookout. and make sure you go into our what is it, descriptions or in the bios, or what is it, Giselle? Where does it go? All of this stuff, the links and all that.
Now,
The
before
show
you stop
notes.
hitting
Thank you.
record, you can stop recording, but I'm gonna be sitting here until you go right. I have a message for myself on that mirror, so I'm gonna be sitting here until
Yeah,
you write it.
I'm gonna stop recording, then I'm gonna go write it.
Okay,
I promise you. I promise you.
but I'm
But
gonna still be here
for
till you get it done. I'm not. I ain't getting off.
okay,
You can stop
I
recording, but I'm
believe
gonna be
you. I
here.
know you're
Yeah,
holding me to it. I
I'm gonna
know
hold
you're
you
holding
to it.
me to it.
Yeah.
For all of our listeners out there, if you have a story and you want to stay anonymous, we respect that, but your story can still help others, and it will help others. You can email us at 12looking through THRU the 34 the glass at gmail.com. You can reach us through our TikTok and through our Facebook. We want to thank you for once again looking in through the glass.